All-Star Sports Show, another week. Merrick DeCash.
And Ethan Smythe, and special guest Josh Goody.
That's right, special guest Josh Goodings. He's here to help us talk about the Stanley Cup Finals. And we're going to have a big segment on this today, aren't we, boys? I'm going to just get Josh your opening thoughts about the Stanley Cup Finals. And we have Boston, we have Chicago. Who's going to win and why?
Well, first off, I'll say that I believe Boston's going to win the Cup this year. The reason why, they're a fast, tough, strong team. You know, they're just really good. Their transition game's really well. I think Chicago's going to have to do really well in the neutral zone. That's how they get their points. They get in the neutral zone, they get the puck behind the net, and they score. Boston's got pretty tough defense. You know, Chara back there, big guy. If he can shut down Chicago's offense, and you know, Boston's offense can play as well as they played against Pittsburgh, then I give Boston a great chance of winning the Cup.
And I do agree with you. I think I'm going to take Boston in 6. And here's why. I would take Boston in 7, but that means they would have to win Game 7 in the United Center, and I don't see that possible. However, Boston's offense is fired up right now off their win of Pittsburgh. They've had a big break. But Chicago, you know, Chicago can fight, but I don't think it's Chicago's series. They got Kane Taves, they got everyone up front there. But again, Boston's defense and their toughness is more superior than Pittsburgh right now, and that's why I'm taking the Bruins in 6.
Yeah, to add to that, Merrick, I also say in 6. Reasoning being, I think that Boston will win all 3 games they have at home, and then hopefully they can get 1 win in the United Center.
Well, I agree with Merrick in the sense that Boston won't win Game 7 in the United Center, and that's why I think Chicago will win in 7. LA is a similar team to Boston, and Chicago dispatched them. I think Boston is a better team, especially with the line of Lucic, Krejci, Horton producing the way they are, very clutch in the playoffs. But Chicago is an underrated defense. I mean, Keith's been their MVP so far, along with Corey Crawford, and Kane and Taves have woken up. The Stars are alive in Chicago. I see no reason why they can't win it. Boston's a tough match, but I think Chicago will take it in 7.
Thank you, boys. And just quickly, since we're almost wrapping up the NHL season here, Oilers made a coaching change, brought in Dallas Eakins from the Toronto Marlies. Josh, what do you think, and how do you think Dallas Eakins will impact and value this Oilers team in the upcoming season?
I think Dallas Eakins, he'll be a great fit in Edmonton. You know, you got a really young team. You got Hall, Nuge, Eberle, Justin Schultz, Nail Yakupov, very young group there. You're bringing in a young coach. He's 46 years old. He's part of that new generation of coaches where, you know, they're all about communication. They don't just yell at their players. They communicate with them, and they actually help them out. I think he'll be a great fit with those young guys in Edmonton.
And Ethan, Dallas Eakins coming in, as I just said, they had so many other options. They had Vigneault, they had Ruff, they had Tortorella, they could have hired so many other guys. Why Dallas Eakins?
Well, Dallas Eakins is the kind of guy that has a good work ethic with young players. He will whip guys into shape and get guys like Peckham perhaps on the right track, even though they're not exactly the best. Like Josh said, the talent is there, but the results haven't been. I think Dallas Eakins, you look at his work with the Marlies, he turned Nazem Kadri into a star down there. I think he can do the same with some of the Oilers' young kids. Get them close to the playoffs, maybe not quite, but they'll make a run for it this year.
And just quickly retouching on the Stanley Cup playoffs, Conn Smythe picked Goodings and why?
Well, if I have Boston winning, I think it's going to be about Tuukka Rask. He was absolutely dominant against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let in 2 goals over 4 games. Like, that was incredible against the #1 offense in the NHL, Pittsburgh Penguins. And I think if he could do that against Pittsburgh, he can do it against Chicago. And I believe he will be the reason that the Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup.
Ethan?
Well, Corey Crawford's been outstanding for Chicago. I think he's the logical choice for the Conn Smythe. Beginning of the year, everyone said Chicago's main issue was goaltending. Well, that seems to be fixed already with Corey Crawford's performance in the regular season and playoffs. He'd be my pick.
You guys both picked the goalies. I'm going to go out here with Boston. I'm going to go with the playoff favorite in David Krejci. And, you know, you got so much talent on each team. I don't think this series is going to be about good goaltending. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this series, and therefore I'm going to go with the favorite for Boston, David Krejci. That's it for our Stanley Cups recap. Stay tuned as the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew. Back with the All-Star Sports Show, Merrick DeCash.
And Ethan Smythe.
As you can see, we're right in front of the Green Monster at Fenway Park here in Boston, Massachusetts. And we are proud to be here as the Boston Red Sox will play later tonight against the Houston Astros. It's time for All-Star of the Week. Ethan, you want to give me your All-Star of the Week pick?
Absolutely. My pick comes from the Chicago Blackhawks, Western Conference champions, and who better than Patrick Kane? This guy had a hat trick in the clinching game, including the OT winner versus Jonathan Quick and the Kings. 5 points in 5 games so far in that series. He will be a big factor in Chicago's Stanley Cup win over the Boston Bruins.
And I'm going to go complete down the road. This guy is amazing. As they've been starting in, Los Angeles Dodgers news lately, I'm going to go with Yasiel Puig. This guy has been amazing. In his first 7 games in a Major League uniform, he's hitting .464 with 4 homers and 10 RBI. He's a perfect guy to pick for your Beat the Streak if you guys are into that, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. And then again, Yasiel Puig is so clutch for the Dodgers, 2 home run games, and I think this guy will keep it up, unlike some of the other rookies we've been seeing dying out like Pete Kozma and Derek Dietrich.
And let's not forget, Dunkin' Donuts is located right here in Boston, so you can have a donut and a coffee right here from Dunkin' Donuts. It's awesome.
Thank you. All-Star of the Week brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. American Cash.
And Ethan
We'll be
Smythe.
right back with you with question time.
Ethan Smythe.
Back here on All-Star Sports Show. As you can see, Yankee Stadium right behind us. The glorious Yankee Stadium. You can see them and the Indians face off tonight. That's going to be a good contest. They got all sorts of talent with Robinson coming up the middle. Also with Teixeira back. Jeter's coming back soon too. Anyway, All-Star Sports Show question time. Up next, we have Joshua Goodings, our cameraman, gonna ask us a few questions coming in from the fans. Our first question for Ethan Smythe. Josh.
My question is Tim Tebow. This morning he signed to the New England Patriots. How do you think he will fare with the Patriots?
Well, as we know, the Patriots like to do some pretty bizarre moves, including Alfonso Dennard from last year, drafted as a
And
corner.
don't forget Chad Ochocinco.
And Chad Ochocinco, that's right. Randy Moss turned a lot of guys into good players. Tim Tebow obviously won't be the starter there. We know Tom Brady's the guy. But some option plays like a QB sneak or whatever, Tim Tebow fits in well with the QB running plays, Wildcat offense. And let's remember Rob Gronkowski out to start the season. Tim Tebow might be used as a tight end. He's got lots of versatility, but he can't throw. So,
And let's remember, in New England, with Bill Belichick's new playbook, they have that new play, the QB Sonya check. That's going to come into effect for them this year.
That's right.
As they will try and get past defenses also in the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins. Next question, Josh.
Merrick, CFL expert here. How do you think the Edmonton Eskimos are going to fare this season?
To be completely honest, the Eskimos are going to finish 3rd in the West, and here's why. I believe Saskatchewan Roughriders are going to go all the way and win the Grey Cup this year. We'll have all your CFL coverage here on the All-Star Sports Show in a few weeks. CFL preview show next week, 15 minutes of
and
CFL.
I also asked my friend QB Beulah. He says they're going to go 18-0 and win the Grey Cup this year. He says that Mike Riley's going to have like 70 touchdowns.
A very unreasonable expectation, as the Eskimos aren't even sure who's going to start for quarterback this year. But anyway, I think the Eskimos are going to fare pretty good. I think they'll have a winning record this year. They're not going to win the Grey Cup, but you never know. In the CFL, anything can happen, as we've seen last year with Toronto Argos winning the Grey Cup, and 2 years ago with the Winnipeg Bombers winning the Grey Cup. Our third question, this one's for both of us.
All right, this time we're going to switch over to the NBA. Spurs, Heat, who's going to win it?
I think LeBron James has really been the one carrying the Heat up to this point. The Spurs have more of a team effort so far, but the Heat, guys like Chris Bosh have really struggled. To be honest with you, I think the Spurs will still take this one in 7.
And, I really love the Miami Heat. I'm a homer for the Miami Heat. And I think the Miami Heat are going to win simply because of their skill. And everybody says the Spurs are too old. It pisses me off because they aren't too old. They're just as young to win a championship as the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat will win this, though, in 7, as I believe, as they will take the Game 7 at American Airlines Center in Miami. But for now, from Yankee Stadium, see you later. We have Blue Jays update coming up next on the All-Star Sports Show.
All right, we are live here from U.S. Cellular Field in Chicago, where the Toronto Blue Jays lost their game last night in a fog delay. As you can see, lots of fog around us. Blue Jays have been pretty poor this year, last place in the AL East, a World Series contender, many thought. But with Jose Reyes coming back, things are looking up.
Well, to add in about Blue Jays talk here, the other day, Jose Bautista got ejected. It was in the 9th inning, not a big deal, but, Jose Bautista, There's been a lot of trade rumors surrounding him recently, but you know he's the main guy on the Jays. He's the team leader kind of thing, and he's gotta keep his head cool, and he can't get ejected like that. That's not good for team.
That is correct. And we will see you next on the All-Star
What a
Sports
show we had June the 9th here on the All-Star Sports Show. Ethan Smythe and American Cast wrapping it up. You can get us on our Twitter.
at All-Star Sports 88.
And also send us an email at allstarsportshow@gmail.com. But for now, we'll see you next week, and we'll have your full CFL 15-minute recap next week on the All-Stars.
And I hope you enjoyed today's episode for June 11th,